Okay, on our next example with Dijkstra's algorithm, we are looking at routing a package from Washington, D.C. to San Diego, but the package will first be sent to a processing center in Baltimore, eventually working through other processing centers, finding its way to Bakersfield, where it's going to be put on a truck and then sent to San Diego. So in this case, I've got the map drawn out connecting all the cities that the routes can travel, but the travel time between the processing centers are listed there in the problem. So the first thing we need to do in this case is actually label the weights or the distances, if you will, on all of the edges. So the first thing we're going to do is take care of that. So between Baltimore and Chicago, it takes 15 hours. Between Denver and Chicago, 18. Between Denver and Bakersfield, 19. And I'm just going to keep filling these in as we go. Bakersfield and Dallas, Baltimore and Atlanta, Denver and Atlanta, Chicago and Dallas, 18, Dallas and Atlanta, 15. Okay, now we're going to follow Dijkstra's algorithm to once again find that shortest path from Baltimore to Bakersfield. Now remember, we start at the end. So in this case, the end is on the left side, okay? It's not that the end is always on the right. It's just that's the way it's been done up to this point. But we're going to start in Bakersfield this time. So starting with that route or the package in Bakersfield, starting with the end, that's our 0, starting in Bakersfield. Okay, everything in Bakersfield we're going to label as we work across, and then where we've come from. So we've come from Bakersfield, and I'm going to do BAK since we also have Baltimore. That would take 19 hours to get to Denver. And Dallas, I'm going to label BAK 25. Okay, we're done with Bakersfield. We look at the two labels we have and the distances. We have a 19 and a 25. 19 is the shortest one, so Denver is our new starting point, if you will, okay, our new current vertex. We're not going to go backwards to Bakersfield. That vertex is done. So we can go on to Chicago for another 18. So through Denver, and again, I'm not going to label it just a D because we've got Dallas. So through Denver, that would be a total of 19 plus 18 or 37 hours. From Denver to Atlanta, that would be 19 plus 24 or a total of 43 hours through Denver. And then that's it. We don't have anywhere else we can go. So we cross out Denver. We look at our labels, 37, 25, and 43. 25 is the shortest. So that's our new current vertex in Dallas. Again, we're not backing up to Bakersfield. We could potentially go on to Chicago, but 25, where we're at in Dallas, plus 18 is not an improvement over 37. That would actually put us at 43. So we're not going to change that label. From Dallas to Atlanta, 25 plus 15 is 40. That is an improvement. So we're going to replace Denver at 43 with Dallas and a distance or a time of 40 hours. Now we cross out Dallas. We look at our labels. Chicago has the smallest total time at 37 hours compared to 40 in Atlanta. So Chicago is our new current vertex. Again, not going back to Denver, not going back to Dallas. We could move forward to Atlanta. So 37 plus 14 is 41. Not an improvement, so we're not going to cross that out. We could go on to Baltimore, however, which isn't labeled. So we can get to Baltimore through Chicago at 37 plus 15 or a total of 52 hours. We're done with Chicago. Now looking at our labels, Atlanta is the lesser of the two times. So now we're in Atlanta. We're not going to go back to Chicago or Denver or Dallas. We've been there. Going from Atlanta with a time of 40 up to Baltimore, an additional 14 hours is 54 hours. That's not an improvement. So we're going to leave our labels as they are. Okay, now again, using our highlighter here, this tells us where to go. Okay, so Baltimore is where we start, and then it says go to Chicago next. We go to Chicago, and that says go through Denver. We go through Denver, and that says go to Bakersfield. Okay, so our route, and remember we're working like Bakersfield is the end, so we start at Baltimore. Once again, I forgot to switch that back to pen. So we start at Baltimore, then we go to Chicago, then we go to Denver, and then we end up in Bakersfield. And the total time is 52 hours of transport time. Please be sure you are practicing these problems, okay? There are not problems like this on my Open Math. So there are problems posted in the practice folder in the graph theory unit, along with the answers. And remember, the answer key looks like exactly the kind of stuff I'm writing on the notes here, okay? So if you're doing these problems on your second proctored exam, for example, or on the, I guess it'd just be on your second proctored exam, whenever you do this, this is the work I need to see, okay? I'm not shortcutting it. I need to see all the labels. I need to see all those numbers. I need to see your vertices crossed out. So please, please, please go to those practice worksheets and do the practice. Compare it to the answer key and make sure your labels and everything are matching up.